Deputy Speaker, and today I rise on International Women's Day, and I want to begin by acknowledging the important work that women do right around the state of Victoria, right around the world on International Women's Day. I find this day an opportunity to celebrate our whole community, to thank the women who have done so much before me, to thank the men who have supported the women and who acknowledge and understand the importance of a society that we work towards where equality is what we're actually striving for. I'm a woman who believes in equality, but I feel equal. I'm equal to everyone, but I am different. And that's what I think we should always celebrate, the fact that I am a woman and I'm different to the men, but we are equal. That's how I've always seen it, and that's how I would portray it to my young daughter and to young women who I hope I can be a role model for, because, you know, standing in this place 100 years after women have been given the opportunity, as rightfully we should, to stand in this place, it is a significant achievement. And I want to pay tribute to all the women of South West Coast, women and all community members, in fact, who contribute so much to what makes our part of the world so good. Be they the teachers like Claire Monk, who I meet with at West Warrnambool, or Jo Shelton, a principal from Portland, or Mandy Jones, the Woolsthorpe principal, where my children were educated. These are teachers right across our region who are making the places in South West Coast better places to educate children. I want to acknowledge the business women like Angie Papsalaris, and who's a dentist and a business owner and a local government representative. Women like Angie are taking our community on, and she's young and just not long started her family. And, you know, that's something I think we should always acknowledge. It's difficult. You do find it harder when you've got children, and especially when they're young. Women like Jodie Fry, a business owner herself in the transport industry and a journalist, keeping the voice of regional Victoria alive, and she's a very outspoken and brave woman. Britt England, a tireless volunteer for the Portland hockey community, so that the kids in Portland can actually participate in hockey and have venues to play on. You know, women like that who have put so much in to make sure children right across the region have access to games like hockey. Wendy McFarlane, a young woman I met with last week at the Haywood Pony Club, working so hard to make sure that they have a place where they can call home as a club, and putting herself at the forefront and organising along with her committee, I'm sure, but being a spokeswoman. So many women. Young Gracie Drummond, who I met last year, helping Portland recover from the COVID event with putting the night markets forward as an idea and driving that so that the business community can enjoy the Christmas opportunities that come from doing something like that. Well done. But today I'm also going to be welcoming a couple of young women into the Parliament to have lunch with them and celebrate International Women's Day. Maddie McConnell and Catherine Barkla, who launched We've Got You, a foundation to support families experiencing a loss of a child from conception through to age 16. Both of these women came to see me last year. They both lost their children, their infants, and they are doing so much to help other women and the family, the spouse, the husband as well, to go through that horrible experience with support, and have done an incredible job and will be very welcome today because I want to acknowledge the good work they do. But young girls like Alexandra Richardson, a kid, she's not a kid anymore, she's probably nearly 30, but you know, I watched grow up and how she started her own business in Port Fairy and runs the Oak and Anchor restaurant, and you know, really admire young people who are having a great opportunity at having a go at life and being role models themselves. Carol Logan, who I met last week in Portland, an older lady who told me about the story of her husband who's had diabetes for nearly 60 years, and how important the health service is to her and her husband, and how she will be an advocate and has been an advocate to make sure Portland maintains the health services they need for that community. Doing it all off her own back, just wanting to be a strong local advocate and doing a fantastic job. There are so many women. Mary Irwin from Portland, who has been advocating for the Portland Gymnastics Centre to be built, and so the children there can continue that activity in an environment that's more suitable than they've currently got. Nicole Dwyer, a really hard-working advocate for Port Fairy football, netballers in the Port Fairy, and they're very successful teams in the Port Fairy netball community as well. Melissa Lynch, Melissa who works with neurodivergent children and is a strong advocate to make sure children are safe in our schools, and her experiences where children have been unable to be kept in a safe environment despite all the good work that the principals and the teachers are doing, but because of the lack of support they're getting, that some of these children are ending up being significantly hurt in the school environment, and some of those stories that Melissa talks to me about are more than disturbing. So very, very impressed with Melissa's advocacy. Emma Marnie, the strong advocate in our community for women's health and wellbeing. You know, it is something we need to always put at front of mind, our health and wellbeing, and making sure we've got women like Emma doing that, I do really admire. Kim Kavanagh, a woman who has been the BPW president for many years, and I'm sure Kim, as she keeps saying, would like to hand it over, but doing such an incredible job to make sure our business women feel supported and have an environment to come together and share the challenges and opportunities, and as I think really does support them. Sarah, Emma and Julie Holcomb, tireless fundraisers for palliative care services. Doreen Symes, the president of the Portland, Promoting Portland, and the other businesswomen of Portland community who come together and who I met with last year. All the work you all do really does progress our communities, and it does go unspoken. Now, I'm not highlighting them as the only people who do things, because there are people who pick up, you know, the neighbour and take them to the doctor's appointment. They're all contributing. And I look back at how far we've come, and you know, when I was younger, there weren't female ambulance officers in Warrnambool. Now there are. There's far more police officers than there ever were before. We're seeing much more women in agriculture than we did before. I mean, in the dairy industry, women have always played a significant role, but people like Shirley Harlock and Anne Adams, who were trailblazers on boards where I came along after them and was able to chair a board whilst just having had a child and bring that child into that to that environment. And hopefully these role models, we are putting an environment forward that does embrace and encourage younger women. It is challenging. As a mum, you know, that child that I just referred to is my youngest, and today being International Women's Day, you know, I acknowledge the young women of today, and she's working in the AFL, probably around 30 hours a week, and studying full-time at university doing her degree. So it's role modelling for people like my young daughter, who I will welcome into the Parliament at 5:30 after she finishes work, and we'll have dinner together to celebrate together at International Women's Day. Because they're the sorts of things, as a working mother, it's not always easy. Your kids sometimes resent the fact that you're not there as much as you should be and could be. But having that role model, I think, is very important, and just that's the conversation I had with her this morning about financial independence and the challenges of, that women have, and she said that to me. She said, "Mum, but I admire what you're doing because you know, it gives me a good foundation for understanding what I need to do to set myself up." So happy International Women's Day. Keep up, everyone, your good work. Thank you, gentlemen, who support me, surround me, and I acknowledge the work you do supporting women, and that's why we've got the equality that we have, because of the respect I have here from my colleagues. Thank you.